obvious one is definitely the the 5%. At least what qualifies as 5% in the tint. You know what I mean? And a lot of people be like, well, aren't you worried about that kind of stuff? I'm like, yeah, I am a little worried about it, but have I run into any kind of problems? Not really. And I think a lot of it is because I actually went ahead and kind of cheated my way around it, if that's a way to explain it. More along the lines of like, well, I usually roll with the windows down constantly because one, down here in Texas, it's extremely hot. Gas is relatively okay, but one thing that I never really got around to doing due to the fact of like, for the sake of time, is fixing the compressor and fixing the AC. That's just one thing that I hadn't gone around to. So I kind of fly under the radar for lack of better words. So there's that. Nay, and it's not a straightforward answer of is it illegal, is it prohibited. It really isn't. It's a lot of it is just explained in the tech book where it has a vague answer. And my personal advice, if you're gonna try to like debate it, if you get a ticket over this stuff, don't ever debate it on the street. Go ahead and do it directly on the courts. You guys are just gonna have to forgive me for like the small little wind that's coming around. So just have simple truck nuts. A lot of it, and there's a reason why I paint them that way, because if there truly are like a problem, if for whatever reason, like somebody such as law enforcement or code enforcement wants to give me a hassle, they can obviously get the plates. That's why I actually covered my plates. They can definitely do that. There's no doubt that they can do that, and probably send me some kind of notice that like my modifications on the truck is ill-advised or illegal, that type of deal. There's probably a handful of YouTube videos of stuff like that. Maybe not particularly with the lug nuts, but definitely with some type of variant of that. And as you can see with the paint job, the chain is tan and the lug nuts are a ocean blue. A lot of it, I don't really try to mess too much with different colors of the blue, because most dudes could actually understand like, oh, why they're blue, blue nuts, that type of deal. And a lot of it, it was just a parting gift, really. It was just a gift to me, and I just went ahead and threw them on the truck. Now, was I afraid of catching hell for it? Yeah, I was in the beginning, and then I noticed that people were just taking a nice laughter to it. You know what I mean? And it was they took to it real well. They the cops that I drove up, literally side by side, or like they're directly in the rear of me, anything like that. You know what I mean? Nothing. And it was fairly simple. There was nothing to it. I'm pretty sure somebody got a good giggle out of it. And I never really put too much effort into make it extremely funny. You know what I mean? Just simple green nuts, chrome nuts. Well, not chrome, but like chrome, like spray painted silver, gold, and I didn't really feel the need to actually like mix match colors, due to the fact that sometimes when it rains, there's mud left over, so it kind of like smears over. That is one thing that I don't really care for. I don't care too much to clean the nuts or the shackle. I never hung a shackle due to the fact that I never had a reason to. And for the people that do it as well, I think a lot of it, like law enforcement, if you're worried about that, law enforcement just sees it as a gimmick. You're obviously not going to pull anybody from it. You're actually going to pull from the hitch rather than the shackle that's just pinned in. At least that's as far as I would do it. As far as every time I pull somebody out, I mean, I wouldn't hook it to the lug nuts. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that. So definitely see where like an overzealous person of code enforcement or law enforcement, anything like that, they can definitely kind of point this in their favor, and that is the flag mounted on your truck. Now, like if you can see really close, that is actually how I mounted the truck. Just like, oh, he only put it up for like maybe this little video. No, anybody around where I'm from, which is Texas, and in a small little town, people recognize the truck or they know me, that type of deal. I'm not infamous or famous or anything like that. They just recognize the truck. Like for the vets out there, thank you for your service. It's because the veterans out there where we can live in a free society and do some stuff like this. You know what I mean? And it's awesome. But back to it. If you want to go ahead and mount the flag on it, I mean, when it comes to the trucks, it's fairly simple. I mean, it already has somewhat of a mount to it. I put my own personal taste because I did fly down on some good speeds on the highway, and you know, I felt the flag move just a little bit, so I want to secure it as well as I can, because, you know, for real, those are my colors right there. I don't want them hitting the deck at all. And like I said, I run into a lot of veterans that, you know, even one would be like, hey, make sure my colors don't hit the deck or they don't ever come down. I'm all like, yes sir, got no problem with that. So that's one thing you can do. And like I said, all this really does fall under how overzealous somebody is. It's really, that's truly how it all actually falls under. And, you know, like I would say they kind of get it. You know what I mean? They probably don't even see the hat, but they definitely see the flag, and then they go like, okay, cool, we got a Patriot here. And you got one right here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on a different one where it's not so much a modification, due to the fact that it kind of looks like an actual bumper when you want to modify it. And I'm not talking about putting lights in 45-degree angles. I'm not talking about putting lights inside the actual tubing of the bumper. I'm talking about actually making a custom-made bumper. And well, like, there's no lights on this one, but you'll catch what I mean right here. Stand by. So, you know, as I stated, you know, apologize for the wind. You know, right here, like this whole piece right here, from here to here, was basically taken off like a TJ7. It was just something that was just kind of at the flea market, and truthfully, that's all it was. I paid about like 20 bucks for the whole thing, and in between here, and here, and especially right in there, you can see how it is definitely redneckified. You know what I mean? Jerry-rigged to a great capacity. It's made out of square tubing. It's made out of spare muffler pieces that I had laying around the shop. Just fairly simple. And ideally, it's because like when I first picked up the truck, the front bumper, it was damaged pretty hard. There was rust spots in it, and I think even one time when I was just kind of off-roading pretty hard, I think I broke an actual original nut from it. And it was, oh man, like to break the nut, I couldn't figure out a way how to get it out. And then I ended up like, okay, let's just kind of cut it off. But like, you know, with the way metal and heat worked with each other, it kind of fused in there. So it was a process. And then one day I was just casually going down to the flea market, excuse me, and there we were. We saw it. Dude wanted 20 bucks. I didn't really know what I was gonna do with it. I mean, I don't have a Jeep, and I'm just like, okay, cool. Let's see what we can do. And you know, just a little bit of like, you know, redneck ingenuity and a little bit of a can-do attitude. I made a bumper, literally, just straight up, made a bumper. You know, like there's literally nothing to it. And it's pretty cool. You know, I put it about like maybe 4 inches, you know, forward, which is pretty cool because I mean, okay, cool. I just have to be careful every now and again. In the beginning, I did have to be careful. Now I kind of know how to gauge how far it is from the next car in front of me. But I have a habit of actually, you know, going in reverse. So it's not really something that I worry about way too much, you know. But there you go. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, if you want to modify your bumper. Now, as far as lights go, I haven't figured out exactly how I want to put lights or anything like that. But I just don't see like, how do you say it? It's kind of like when you have enough swag where you don't need a whole lot of bling. That type of deal, you know what I mean? And that's how I feel with the truck. That's why I don't feel the need to put on some lights. I mean, is there more that can do the truck? Yeah, but you know, like just how rugged it is, how it functions, how it sounds, how it looks. It has that swag without too much bling. You know what I mean? And in itself, it has a personality, you know? And, you know, I haven't run across any kind of violation with the truck, with the bumper, the flags, the lug nuts, the tint, that type of deal. I mean, as I said before, I did fly under the radar on some things, but I think all in all, if you're looking for like, I guess some kind of confirmation, like, okay, cool, you know, I saw it on the internet, you can definitely tint and not, you know, just, you know, find a way around it. You probably could, but it all depends on like how, you know, flamboyant and, you know, just how you carry yourself, really. Be fresh. I'm here at the skate park and it's really nice, and I just felt the need to kind of take a break for a second, catch my breath, and go ahead and make a video for y'all. So with all that being said, I you know, if you feel the need to go ahead and throw a shackle or maybe some lug nuts on your truck, or maybe you want to modify your bumper in any way that you see, there you go. And as far as the tint goes, I mean, it all really depends on how you you know, you rock yourself, you know what I mean? And definitely it all depends on how overzealous like a cop can really be. And like, once again, I want to state, I'm not knocking the cops, man. I'm just out there just kind of like just saying like, hey, look, it all just kind of like boils down to exactly how you're actually going to carry yourself, and definitely who you're going to come across. Those are definitely key factors. But if you want some kind of confirmation to, you know, mount a flag on your truck, definitely do it. I highly recommend it. I truly do. So definitely get a hell yeah from me if you go ahead and you know, rock an American flag on your truck. And I think that's all, guys. I think that's all I got for you guys. Hope you liked the video. You know, if you've done any like kind of weird modifications where you got a ticket for, slam it down in the comment sections, man. I'd love to hear the little typewritten story, because I mean, for real, there's plenty of people that get pulled over for some of the weirdest things out there, and I think a lot of us fall under the tint problem. But that's it, man. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.